Hello friends, welcome to Allied Classes. If you're watching my video, please like and subscribe my channel. In previous video, we have discussed about the historical background of DNA as well as the three main component of nucleotide such as pentose sugar, phosphate group and the nitrogenous bases. Now in this video, we are going to see about the nucleotides or the single deoxyribonucleotide and how these deoxyribonucleotide are arranged to form a polynucleotide chain as well as the polarity of DNA strands. We have seen the structure of pentose sugar, phosphate group and as well as the nitrogenous bases. Now I would like to say you the two terms that were nucleotide and nucleoside. If we see the pentose sugar, second nitrogenous bases, and third one is phosphate group. If we talked about these three terms, then if these three terms are present, then it is a nucleotide. It forms a nucleotide. If pentose sugar, nitrogenous base and the phosphate group is present, then it is known as a nucleotide. But just pentose sugar and nitrogenous base is present, thus these two terms are present or these two components are present, where the phosphate group is absent is known as a nucleoside. So this is difference between nucleoside and nucleotide. Here the T is replaced by S when this pentose and nitrogen is present, but when phosphate group get attached, it forms a nucleotide. Now we are going to see the whole structure of nucleotide or single deoxyribonucleotide. Now first we will draw here the structure of pentose sugar. Here we will draw the structure of pentose sugar. Here the structure of pentose sugar. We are talking about deoxyribose sugar. So here there will be just 4 oxygen, OH, H, 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 here H, OH and here H, CH2, OH. Okay. And we will draw here the structure of nitrogenous base or any one nitrogen base. So if we draw here the structure of nitrogen base, then the structure is going to be formed. Okay, with the N is present. Sorry, here in this manner we will draw the H present. Now we will draw here the structure of phosphate group P, which having a valency of 2 oxygen. Here you can see OH group is attached and here you can see here OH group, here OH group is attached. Now how this structure get formed to form a one nucleotide? Now we are going to see this structure. Okay. Now here you can see the OH group and H group. When this combines together, then they forms a water molecule, H2O molecule, and this water molecule removed outside, then this nitrogen get attached to this carbon, first carbon atom, and forms a B-N glycosidic bond. Here you can see the beta N glycosidic bond. What happens? This hydrogen get combines with hydroxyl group, OH group, and forms a water molecule, and this water molecule removed, and then this nitrogen get attached to the first carbon atom of the pentose sugar and forms a bond, B-N glycosidic bond. Now the same here you can see, here OH and OH group is attached at the fifth carbon of pentose sugar, OH, and here the OH group get attached. Here you can see this OH attached to H group and forms another water molecule, and this water molecule get removed. then this O is bind with this CH and forms here a covalent, simple covalent bond. In many books they are given that half phosphodiester bond, but no necessary. If you are talking about a single nucleotide or single deoxyribonucleotide, then remember that this is a simple covalent bond. Now you have seen here, but the two more important things you have to remember in case of nucleotide. This is a single nucleotide, or you can say that it is a deoxyribonucleotide because we have taken the deoxyribose sugar. So this is a deoxyribonucleotide. Okay. The most two important thing is that you have to remember, we will write here, nitrogen group is attached or bind to pentose sugar by first carbon atom. You have seen here, this nitrogen get attached to the first carbon at the pentose sugar. Nitrogenous group attached at first carbon of pentose sugar, attached at first carbon of pentose sugar. And phosphate group attached at fifth carbon. Here you can see fifth carbon, pentose group attached to the phosphate group attached to the pentose sugar. So these two things are most important. You have to remember when the nucleotides are formed, then the phosphate group attached to the fifth carbon of pentose sugar and nitrogenous group attached to the first carbon of pentose sugar. These were the two important things. Now we have to see the four types of deoxyribonucleotide. Now we have seen here the structure of nucleotide. This is a pentose sugar, this is nucleotide, this is pentose sugar, this is nitrogenous base, and this is a phosphate group. So now we are going to see, according to this structure, we are going to see in a simple manner the four deoxyribonucleotides. Now 4 deoxyribonucleotides, okay. We are seeing the 4 deoxyribonucleotides. The first one you can see here, we know that the nitrogenous base is attached at the first carbon of pentose sugar and phosphate group attached at the fifth carbon of pentose sugar. So we will draw here the structure of nitrogen or the nucleotides. Here the nitrogen base, adenine attached, and here phosphate group is attached. This is one type of deoxyribonucleotide. Another one is, means here the nitrogen base is going to be changed. Here adenine, here cytosine. Some are writing in this case here the phosphate group is attached, but we know that the carbon number here 1, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th carbon number, phosphate group is attached at the 5th carbon, so you can't draw here the phosphate groups. You have to draw in this manner only. So now the third one is, this pentose sugar will get attached to the nitrogenous base, that is guanine, and forms another deoxyribonucleotide, and the last and fourth one is of thymine. In case of DNA it is a thymine, and in case of RNA it is a uracil, okay. So these 4 deoxyribonucleotides when get attached, means not just 4, many of these deoxyribonucleotides. So you can see here the nucleotides, deoxyribonucleotides. When this many of these ribonucleotides, means deoxyribonucleotides, are going to be attached, then they are going to be form a polynucleotide chain. They are going to form a polynucleotide chain. We will write here, forms a polynucleotide chain. Okay. Now this two polynucleotide chains, if you see here, this phosphate group get attached to here at the carbon, fifth carbon, then it forms a phosphodiester bond. You can see OO, this structure is known as a ester group. When two ester groups are formed, then here you can say the phosphodiester bond. Phosphate group is present, so it is a phosphodiester bond. Here the phosphodiester bond are formed. Now we are going to see here the polarity of DNA strands, such as 5' end to 3' end and 3' end to 5' end. Now we are going to see here the fifth carbon get attached here, and here water molecule removes and one only oxygen remains. Means here the phosphodiester bonds are formed. Same as here, phosphodiester bonds are formed. But now we are talking about the polarity of DNA strand from 5' end to 3' end and 3' end to 5' end. Then we are going to say that this is a 5' end and this is a 3' end. Why we are going to say this as a 5' end and this as a 3' end? So now how to remember this? This is a 5' end and this is a 3' end. So you have to remember that if the phosphate group is free and the third carbon group is not free, then it is a 5' end. And if the phosphate group is not free, third carbon is free, then it is a 3' end. Okay. Comes to the polarity. Polarity means we can recognize it easily. Means polarity means what? Polar means what? We are going to distinguish that thing, and non-polar means what? It's looking similar, we can't distinguish it. But the DNA strand, both DNA strand are polar. We can recognize the both DNA strand. So we will see the both DNA strand, how we can recognize the DNA strand from 5' end to 3' end and 3' end to 5' end. First of all, we will write here. Here we will write, if phosphate group is not free or free, phosphate group is free and third carbon not free, it is 5' end. And where the phosphate group is not free and third carbon free, then it is a 3' end. How to remember the 3' and 5' end? So in short we have written this. Now we are going to see the antiparallel strands of DNA. Now we will draw here the structure of the antiparallel strand, 3' to 5 and 5' to 3. First you have to draw the nucleotides, adenine, and this is phosphate group. Okay, we will draw here the only 4 nucleotides. It doesn't mean that the DNA have just 4 nucleotides. They are having a number of nucleotides to form a one single DNA. This is cytosine. Just we are drawing to understand here. This is thymine, guanine, cytosine, adenine. Okay, this type of nitrogenous bases are attached. Now this is one nucleotide chain, one strand of DNA, and suppose that this is one strand of DNA, and here we are going to write the antiparallel strand. So you can draw this anti-parallel strand here. The P, sorry, here the P is attached. Okay, we have drawn here the anti-parallel strand and a parallel strand. So here which nitrogen base are going to be attached? According to Charles-Dopf law, he proposed that the rule adenine will pair with thymine with two hydrogen, forms a two hydrogen bond, and thymine will pair with adenine, and there will be the two hydrogen bonds between adenine and thymine, as well as he proposed that the guanine will pair with cytosine, forms a three hydrogen bonds, and vice versa cytosine will pair with guanine. So we will write here adenine will pair with thymine, cytosine will pair with guanine, guanine will pair with cytosine, thymine will pair with adenine. In case of DNA, okay, and in case of RNA, adenine will pair with uracil and uracil will pair with adenine, vice versa. Now, according to Charles-Dopf, he said that how hydrogen bonds are formed? Hydrogen bonds are formed by the weak attraction force. Weak attraction force where the electronegative elements are present. Electronegative elements means you can say it as a fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen and chlorine. These are the electronegative elements. But we have just oxygen and nitrogen. We are going to see just about the oxygen and the nitrogen. So according to Charles-Dopf, he said that in case of cytosine and guanine, there were the three positions in which hydrogen bonds are formed, and in case of adenine and thymine, there were the two positions where the hydrogen bonds are formed. But we can't draw hydrogen bond in a straight line. We can draw, according to Charles-Dopf, we can draw a hydrogen bond by the dotted structure. So we will draw here the dotted structure and show the हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड. एडेनिन और थायमिन में कितने ग्रुप थे? हाइड्रोजन के कितने बॉन्ड थे? 2. सो वी विल ड्रॉ हियर द 2 हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स. एंड साइटोसिन गुआनिन 3 हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स. So we will draw here the 3 hydrogen bonds. Here guanine and cytosine have 3 hydrogen bonds in case of DNA, and thymine and adenine have 2 hydrogen bonds. Due to these hydrogen bonds, there were the curve formed in the DNA structure, or it becomes a twisted structure. Here you can see the helical structure. It forms a helic-like structure due to the hydrogen bond. These are the hydrogen bonds. Hydrogen bond. Due to this hydrogen bond, they form a twist and a helical structure. In this video, we have seen the antiparallel strand. Here you can say it is a 5' to 3'. Here 3' to 5'. But here you can see one purine and one pyrimidine. Means the equal amount of content of purine and pyrimidines are present in case of DNA. Now, in next video, we are going to see the types of DNA, or the model of Watson and Crick. It is a B type of DNA. We are going to see the 3 type of DNA, A type of DNA, B type of DNA and Z type of DNA. So thank you friends for watching my video.